Should we put him in the shot? We might want to. Yeah, he's an icon. He's an icon. Yeah.
He's the real mayor of Aurora.
That's funny because I was going to say that.
A little bit taller.
Huh? What about it?
Francis.
Come here, Francis.
He's showing like Garfield now.
Francis, come here.
Oh. This is amazing.
He goes outside into the flag.
Uh-oh. Mic check, mic check.
Hello.
What up? Hello. Good morning, y'all.
That's a good boy.
Like
Francis,
if you-
we need you. There you go.
Like if he could just like zoom in on Francis the whole time, that would be amazing.
Your face is all
Francis
wet.
is answering questions like, yes.
Francis isn't very PC.
Yeah.
Can you guys try again?
What up?
Hello.
Mike
Morning.
How are you doing today?
Like the delay almost. Yeah, there's like a latency to it.
Is there a crappy Wi-Fi?
No, it's not the Wi-Fi. It's the fan.
Oh.
Oh, you want to hear?
Oh, dude, that's. It's because it's blurring their voice.
Ah.
It sounds like you're speaking directly to the fan.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just.
Damn, good morning. We've been drinking already, y'all.
Nope. What did I turn off?
It was just a delay.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those like films, like the translation ones. Bruce Lee.
Oh, like an old karate flick?
Mhm.
Yeah. You have killed my brother.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out the lights in this place. No.
Is there a remote for that? No.
No. Is that it? Oh, that might have been it.
Oh, that sounds yeah.
Never in the field of human conflict has
Now
so
it's gonna get
much
hot in here.
Yeah.
been owed
Wait.
to so
No, I
many
just turned these two off.
by so few.
Your JD's like, don't turn my fan off.
Well, these two are on the same switch, so.
You're good.
Damn, and just like that, we back at Gremlin.
Who did we forget to turn? James Cardis. We forgot to turn, and you know James from Enjoy Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
That's how-
Yeah.
that James.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to turn the fan on, and I'm dripping. He's probably dripping. Then later we like realized we didn't have the fan on.
What up?
So we just have like an echo. Yeah, there is. There's like a delay. Will you talk for me?
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, dude, that's what's fucking up. You're fine. It's you two and the mics are so close together.
Oh.
Yeah, it's picking up both. You got phase issues, so you guys are gonna have to.
Do you want us to pick a side, or do you want me to move?
Or do you want me off the camera?
Like Chrissy.
Move over a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to like try and adjust a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the phone on.
My name is Aurora, and I have a back tire that's
It's 8 o'clock.
Dedicated. Dedicated.
Are we getting this live?
Yeah, is that live? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
okay,
I love it.
that's great.
Yes. Get some good B-roll up in this joint.
His
Cause-
name's Daewon Song, which is a famous
Yeah,
skateboarder.
that's-
I was like, Daewon Song's calling me?
Who is it?
Like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite speeds.
Nice.
It's crazy.
You know, he's got like he broke his ankle when he was like a kid. It never fully healed because he never went to the hospital. So it's like size of a softball. And he's still
How does he-
dude, I have no idea. Is it still wonky? Will you guys talk in the mic?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good
Morning,
morning.
Aurora.
Maybe if you share a mic.
That's what I was gonna go to next.
I can't reach my coffee.
These stools need cup holders, Chad.
Chad, can we fix this?
It's Amina.
Good boy.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, it's because I turned.
God, you're the best cat.
How old is he?
I turned
Oh, he just
one of
turned
the
8.
microphones off, so it shouldn't be. Is it this one or the other one?
Snapping, can you talk instead?
Hello. Hello.
Snapping's not working. Snap, snap, snap.
Hello, how are you doing? Francis, you're such a good boy.
Hello.
It's both of them, but the second you talk into the one that's off, it's fine. Because I think they're just too close.
Do we just need to share?
Well, yeah,
it?
that's what I'm saying. We'll turn one off and just share one.
Okay, we can try that.
Yeah.
Good job, Robert.
Come on, see? You know how we do.
Teaching him some tactical.
Right. L News.
So you guys will just have to be kind of conscious
What up?
of like speaking correctly and as much as you can because it's like pretty.
Aww.
Oh, he just left. Becca, can you hear me
All right,
okay?
guys.
Okay.
Good morning, Aurora's coming to you momentarily. Just doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Francis, what are you doing, buddy?
All right, go ahead and have some pre-roll talks real quick.
Is he going to be a little camera shy today?
No, I don't think so. He saw the cord moving, so he decided to attack
It's
it.
like, it's like a big yarn ball. He's like, this looks like fun. I
Yes.
think I could make a mess here. Meow.
Cats.
Oh.
There you go. We just pet him there.
Yeah, we're gonna make this Facebook official.
And JB, during the show, can we also like get some good zoom of the cat?
I hope this is on camera here.
Yeah, can we like get some shot of the cat?
Francis and I are getting to like
I can get this cat right now.
third base here.
Okay, yeah, get the cat right now.
We'll get the cat right now.
Yeah.
You got some good info.
So I want everybody in Aurora, if you are listening to us and you are hearing my voice, I want you to think of a time or favorite bike riding moment, your first bike perhaps, or a bike that was gifted. I'd like you to think about your bicycle. Do you have one? Do you need one? Well, if you have one, great. If you need one, we know a place. Now me, I'm a little old school, so I'm a mongoose rider. That was my very first bike, and I love that bike. Multicolored pegs, the whole thing. I do remember a time when you had friends on the back pegs or the front.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Or you had to, maybe they'll sit on the front part and you look over their shoulder while you're riding. Yep.
I remember my first bike was my sister's bike, so it's kind of a hand-me-down. And I was just telling somebody the story. I said, if you look at my knees, they're all like scarred up.
Damn.
Because
That from a tree the other day? Or?
well, no, that was from the tree. But it was because I grew up in a neighborhood with all boys, and so we were always like, trying to like spin out, burn out,
of course,
jumping
yeah.
off things. And if you went home and you were bleeding, then you'd have to stay in. So we just kind of like scrape the gravel out of like.
Oh, wow. He had to stay in.
It's like, don't go, don't tell mom, she's gonna make you stay inside.
Alright, so we should be good. Start it, and I will give you guys the heads up as soon as the trailer's
Oh, look at
over.
that.
All right, let's do it, baby.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning. morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:10 a.m., and you are listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we are here, at All Spoked Up, speaking to Mr. Jon Schratz today.
Thank you for having me, Curtis.
All right, my man. Good to see you. Good to see you.
We also have the legendary Francis T. Cat here.
Shop cat.
Shout out to Kat, or Francis. Shout out to Francis. All right. And also want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to everybody who made this day possible. So the whole squad, my co-host Christine here. We have JV in the back doing our engineering and mixing with Hunter and Becca as well. All right, so that's the team. Got to give them some love. So we have some updates for you guys. We do have the news. Francis just jumped down, as you can see. He's doing his thing.
I'm so over this.
So real quick, first and foremost is the Alley Art Festival. Now, celebrating 10 years of art, music, and spectacle all around downtown, Saturday the 29th from noon till 5 p.m. Artists will be at multiple venues, musicians, and even a puppet theater. Told you guys about that yesterday, so please come on out, show some love. Shout out to the Aurora downtown crew. Compendium, this is very important. A week-long shopping experience showcasing makers, shops, and creators. That'll be across Geneva, Batavia, and some shops here in Aurora. Okay, so shout out to Wickwood House, Branch Gardens, and Cottonseed Creative Exchange at 8 North Broadway. Friends of ours and friends of the show. Compendium runs from the 24th until the 30th, so it is going to be ending shortly. Carts for a Cause. Shout out to our friends Visual Arts and the Aurora Interfaith Food Pantry as well, and to all the artists who are taking part in this. September is Hunger Action Month. Paint a shopping cart to help put a spotlight on hunger. The carts will be placed at various businesses around the downtown Aurora area. We have posted that for you guys. We'll make sure that you get the information again. There is an adjoining number for you guys to call, a lady by the name of Becky. Now, I don't know that number by hand, but I'll make sure that you get it. This is so new. It's really cool. Hi, Francis. Look at you. What's he eating?
He's got a bug.
Okay, he's got a bug. There you go. Somebody got breakfast. Emergency Rental Assistance Program, very important. Through the state of Illinois, this has been extended until the 28th, okay? Now, the program is via the governor's office and the IHDA, which is the Illinois Housing Development Authority. Apply at ema.ihda.org. Senior meal distribution, don't forget, the 31st at Aurora Police Department, 1200 East Indian Trail Road. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're still on the COVID-19 watch list. Now, that's Kane and Will counties. Please be safe. Please wash your hands. And when you are outdoors in public, don't be that person knocking over the stand in Costco just because you're told to wear your mask. And congratulations on Aurora making 72.2% self-response in the census. All right, so can we give a little, that's for us. That's really positive, really positive. Now, the deadline to complete the census is September 30th. If you have not done the census, go to 2020census.gov and do so. Filling out the census is very important, so please make sure that you guys do that. That is how our city gets funding for various projects and initiatives. All right, and without any further delay, let's get to our interview with Mr. Schratz. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Good.
Welcome on the new spot here.
Yes, it's excellent. You can see a little bit on the camera. We have a new spot we just moved into last Thursday, and that was kind of a whirlwind of moving.
Yeah.
You guys just hopped down to.
Yeah, we just moved next door.
Okay.
So if anyone's curious, we just moved next door. It's not that big of a deal.
All right.
But what a difference. It is a big deal.
Oh, it's a
because
huge difference.
when
Yeah.
I walked in yesterday, just to kind of check the place out, it looked completely just amazing. I mean, it looked amazing before, but there's so much room. You can see the bikes all over the place. You got the T-shirts up there.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
everyone should come check it
No,
out.
it's coming together really well. We're still trying to decorate and get stuff in. The hard part is now there's like no product to like order. So it's still kind of bare. So we're just waiting for things to like come out from back order right now. So
Oh, gosh.
I like the red and the dark gray.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Fast.
Really cool. All right.
So tell everyone who you are and where you're from.
my name's John, as we said before. Born and raised here in Aurora. I grew up over by Aurora University. I went to went to the West Side schools. I currently live on the East Side, though, kind of over by Phillips Park.
All right. Yep.
And any other educational background? Did you say you were going to school for something else?
I went to school. Originally, I went to school to be an illustrator, so that's where the T-shirts came from.
Okay.
Because I learned how to draw. And then I realized that wasn't going to pan out. I'm not good enough for that, and those guys are super good. Then I went back to school and got a teaching degree. And my first job out of school wasn't teaching, so I just never ended up teaching.
Nice.
Interesting.
Growing up, what impact did your mom have on your life?
A lot. I still have the fear of my mother. I still hear, anytime anybody says my full name, Jonathan, just kind of like duck.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah.
My mom had a very positive role in my life. We had sit-down dinners and sit-down breakfasts every morning. Excuse me. She taught us manners. She taught us to hold doors open for people, and I still do that. People still thank you for that because that's an odd thing. A lot of people still don't hold doors open for each other. So,
I think very highly of that too. When people do that.
Yeah.
When people don't, then it's just kind of.
yeah, and people
like a
shut the door
courtesy
behind you
thing.
real quick.
Don't
Like, what are
let
you
her in.
doing?
Yeah.
So, that's great. That's great.
What was your first job?
My first job ever?
Yeah.
I was a paper boy for the Beacon News.
Really?
From like, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade until high school.
Wow.
Until I was like a freshman in high school. And I was like, I'm done with this.
This is like when they deliver it.
Oh, yeah.
Rubber band it up.
Yeah, I had
and all
to
in the
rubber
sack.
band it, and I had a big route too. I had like 65 papers or something, so it took like 2 or 3 trips on the bike to like
Oh.
do 20 this way, do 20 that way, do
Damn.
20 the other way.
What kind of bike did you have back then?
I started with a little BMX bike. It was a GT, and then at some point I got a mountain bike, and that made it a little bit easier, just because of bigger wheels and gears going up hills. So not that Aurora has big hills or anything, but
But still, you're looking at.
still, when you're
Paper sack
when you're
and-
12 years old and you have 40 pounds of newspapers on your back, it becomes cumbersome.
Right.
Somehow we thought it was okay for kids to do that. It was teaching them character.
Yeah.
I don't know, it did. It super did. I wish there were still paper boys.
Get up at
Now it's
5
just
a.m.
one guy does the whole city at like 5 a.m. in his station wagon. So.
Starts throwing them up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have any people, like any stories of any ladies that were complaining, like you're hitting the?
I had this one lady. She was like a shut-in. She would not answer the door for me. She would not open the door. She would only talk to me through the closed door. I had put it on her front stoop. It had to be on her doormat, like 2 inches over. She would call and complain
Really?
all the time. Yeah. And my guy on the route, he finally came out with me once, and he was like, "Wow, yeah, she's nuts. Don't worry about it. Just put it on the doormat. Let's not worry about her anymore."
Right. Oh my gosh.
She's probably listening now, being like, "Hey."
No, Aurora University bought her house and tore it down, so we're all set. It's a parking garage now.
Tell us about the history of All Spoked Up.
All Spoked Up started about 9 years ago with the owner Matt Knowles.
Okay.
This is actually his second bike shop. He had owned another shop up in Mount Prospect some years ago. He had gone through some rough times in his life and came back to the cycling industry. And at one time, he was actually building his own bikes too. He had a frame builder by the name of Tim Teasdale, who's a better-known frame builder in the frame building world. But unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But him, along with Matt, prompted the starting of All Spoked Up.
Did that start here in Aurora? Or?
No, they started in Batavia. He had
Okay.
a spot in downtown Batavia on the east side, just off of 25.
And when did you open the Batavia, or I'm sorry, the Aurora location?
The Aurora location opened up about 6 years ago. There's a gentleman by the name of Pete Cleary. A lot of people know Pete. They still come in looking for Pete. He ran this location here.
Okay.
He had a store on the far east side off of Butterfield that didn't do so well, and him and Matt kind of bought out his shop, and then he just kind of started working for Matt running the store down here.
Very cool. Interesting history. All right, I wanted to plant a quick flag in the conversation and say shout out to one of your employees, Kim Fredericks, friend of the show. Awesome.
Kim is a valued employee.
Yes.
Need her on the weekends desperately.
Yes. Shout out.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Now, tell us about Kona bikes. One of the first things I noticed about All Spoked Up was I kept seeing Kona everywhere.
Kona is a very small brand out of the Northwest,
Okay.
up in the Washington Bellingham area.
Okay.
They're primarily a mountain bike brand. Like, they started out as mountain bikers, and they make other bikes too. But it's a very niche brand. They have a kind of a cult following.
Okay.
People like, oh, I have this Kona from 1998, and they'll show you pictures of it and stuff like that. And there's only like 10 people that work there, and we kind of are on a first name basis with all of them. So like, all right, I gotta talk to the sales rep Dylan, or I gotta talk to the credit lady so and so,
Right.
or I gotta talk to the warranty guy Ed. Like, we all kind of know each other's names, and they all know all the bike shop people's names because it's such a small company. They do really good at taking care of the bike shops.
Very cool.
Like, if I need something, they'll talk to me and help me figure it out. And like you said, all the Kona stuff everywhere, they just give us the stuff.
Right.
They give us all these tins and these light up signs and T-shirts.
Yeah.
Lots of brand awareness.
Yeah. A lot of other companies don't do that, or they make you buy that stuff for the store. So it's really cool.
And tell us about how COVID-19 has affected the shop and everything.
COVID has been crazy for the bike shop. So when COVID first really hit in the beginning of March, we weren't sure how it was going to play out.
Right.
So like everyone, and we were dubbed an essential business. Like, there was a big push in the cycling industry to like get the governments to say, hey, bike shops are an essential business because we're transportation. And especially when people don't want to take public transportation, they needed their bikes fixed to get to work, especially in city areas like Chicago,
Right.
New York, and stuff like that.
Couriers, everybody
Yeah.
running the gamut. Right.
But then once March hit, it started picking up. More and more people started wanting their bikes fixed. And then once like the lockdown started, that's when like the floodgates opened.
Right.
So we sold out of all of our bikes by June.
Wow.
Can't get any new bikes until September, probably more likely October, November, December.
Wow.
They've been trickling in by ones and twos, and really the only bikes left are like $5,000 mountain bikes or $5,000 road bikes, because those, people aren't looking for that. But conversely to that, people have been bringing in all their old bikes to get service. They'll get flats fixed, to get tune-ups on them, just get them up and running, because cycling was like one of the only things you could do outside and be away from everybody.
Right.
Like
yeah.
running, you're still kind of going back and forth past people.
Right.
But if you're on a bicycle, you're going at least 10 miles an hour, so your breath is still coming back at you, so you can still be without a mask and be further enough away from people to where you felt safe. And then people just all of a sudden discovered how cool bike riding is again. Like they
Yeah.
forgot for like 35 years. Like, it was a big
Yeah.
thing in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then died off, and now everyone's like, oh wow, our family, we rode over to Harner's and it was super cool, and then we saw this deer and we saw this geese and blah blah blah. So people are starting to see their world again. They're exploring their homes now, which is really cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
trails have been crazy because again, everyone's trying to social distance
The
and
trails, like
walking and
the Fox River Trail's been like the mall at Christmas time.
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
Great, yeah.
It's so some of us that like have been cyclists for a long time, we avoid the Fox River Trail now because there's just too many people.
Yeah.
So we try to just hit the open roads now.
okay,
Interesting.
Where else do you go around here? Sawiki?
Yes, there's
Okay.
mountain bike trails near here called Sawiki. That's in Yorkville, Oswego area. It's kind of a weird area. You can't really tell what town you're in over there. And the geotag, every day it's different. It tells you it's Oswego or it tells you it's Yorkville, so it doesn't even know where we're at. But then there's, Aurora's kind of the edge of civilization, the edge of the suburbs, because anything past Aurora is just country. So we have tons of open roads with very minimal traffic. So a lot of us just ride out there.
And you also have an adventure team?
Yes.
Stay Rad?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, years ago, a friend of mine and myself started our own bike team called the Stay Rad Adventure Team. And we go on crazy bike rides, crazy long bike rides, riding different terrain, riding gravel, exploring different roads, doing different things. It's kind of taken a back seat since I took over this job.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to bring that kind of energy and that kind of flavor to the bike shop. And I think you're seeing that here with like just the posters and the artwork.
Absolutely.
The type of bikes we're carrying and
Yeah.
the type of customers that have started coming in since I took over.
Very cool.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, my bad.
This is what we usually do. No one can see it. Like, you go. No, you go. Where's your favorite place, like state, that you visited that you like to go biking?
Way up
Like-
in northern Michigan, there's a place called Copper Harbor that is amazing. It is at the tippy top of Copper Harbor. It's up in the Upper Peninsula, up on the weird island thing, and on another little peninsula. It's so far up there. Nothing works. Your phone doesn't work. No internet. There's nothing. It's so quiet. Planes don't fly over it. It's right on the edge of Lake Superior. It's beautiful, and you realize why it's called Lake Superior. You're like, wow.
Right.
It's just clear and cold.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So now we talked about COVID, and we talked about how people started taking an interest in biking. They started redoing or cleaning up old bikes and fixing flats and things like that. Before COVID, do you remember a time when there was a boom in biking and a spike in the industry going up? Like, what other things made people get out there?
Not in my lifetime. I've been working in bike shops since '97.
Mm-hmm.
I think my first job was when I was 17. But I would hear stories from the old timers saying there was a big bike boom in the 70s, and that was because gas prices inflated. Back then, there was a shortage of fuel and
Right.
stuff like that, and that was another bike boom, and people really got into like bike touring and bike packing, where they would carry sleeping bags and stuff like that and go check out the country that way. Not though since the 90s. Actually, there was a bike decline for a long time in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Schwinn stopped being Schwinn, for those of you that don't know.
What happened?
So
What happened?
everyone loves Schwinn.
They did?
Everyone loves Schwinn around here. It's a
Right.
Chicago brand. It was a Chicago brand. The owners of Schwinn sold their company back in 98 or 99 to like a mass company. So that's why you're seeing Schwinn sold at Target and stuff like that. They're not a bike shop brand anymore.
Oh.
So it's not Schwinn quality anymore. It's just Schwinn.
Oh,
It's just
gotcha.
Schwinns. They're usually put together wrong at Target. The handlebars are usually on backwards for some reason. Because the kid that's stocking the paper towels is the same kid that's slapping the bikes together.
Right.
Um,
I can tell that just irks you so
it
bad.
drives
Did you
me
see that? You're-
Like nails
on the
Hey,
camera,
Target
you can
North
see it
Aurora,
now.
I'm watching you.
You can see it now.
I tag you in all the ones that I find. I will go to every Target in this area and tag your store if your bikes are put together wrong. And I have done it. Check the Instagram stories.
That's right.
You do have a great social media feed. If you're not following All Spoked Up on
Holla.
Instagram or Facebook,
Facebook,
you guys
yeah.
do so. I mean, it can be the middle of winter, and you see you guys out in like the trails or in the snow, and everything is just adventure.
We're just trying to get out, get after it,
And
and
yeah.
I'm trying to let people know that we actually ride bikes. Like, it's
Right.
not just a business. Cycling's a lifestyle for a lot of people. And then go back to your previous question, the decline. Like, there were other companies that got bought out by like major corporations. Like, the late aughts of 2000, Cannondale got bought out. So Cannondale was for a long time a very highly respected brand because they were all handmade in Pennsylvania until about 2008. And they were all super expensive because
Right.
they were all handmade in
Right.
Pennsylvania by union workers and stuff like that. Yeah, union strong for sure, but that just jacks up the price of that frame, because you got a guy welding that bike together. But they got bought out several years ago too, and then just a lot of the other brands did too.
Interesting.
And there was just kind of this weird decline in cycling, but then there was a bike boom when Lance
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
shall not be named, Lance Armstrong. He did have a positive influence on cycling because
Right.
it brought it. At least for Americans, they saw, hey, we have a guy that's like winning bike races again. And
Because
then-
Americans were not.
no, they had
winning.
not since good old Greg LeMond, and a lot of people just kind of forgot about Greg. So
And just
yeah,
like that, it's a history show.
it is.
Always a history.
It is.
Always.
But yeah, Lance definitely had a bike boom in like the early 2000s. You start seeing people switching from playing golf to all of a sudden buying road bikes. So
Interesting.
there was a time when cycling was the new golf. For corporate guys in their late 40s, early 50s, instead of playing golf, they would buy super expensive road bikes and they'd all go out and ride together. So
Was this like a mountain bike?
like
You know,
drop
the-
handlebar
the-
bikes,
Oh,
like
okay, got it.
skinny
Okay.
tires,
So
the
it's-
spandex. Yeah, they would just start buying all that stuff up, and it was that I do remember that now. That was kind of bizarre and cool. So a
Yeah.
lot of those
Same
guys
time.
still ride bikes.
Yeah. Very cool. The time is now 8:30 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we're speaking with Jon of All Spoked Up.
Let's talk about repairs and maintenance.
Okay.
So what type of things should people be doing annually, or what can they bring them in for?
Well, what you can do at home, the biggest thing I recommend is just making sure you keep air in your tires. Get a good bike pump. You can get a bike pump pretty much anywhere. Just make sure your tires are firm. The recommended pressure is usually printed on the side of the tire. So you just got to kind of look around the tire and put the old cheaters on and see what you can find on the side of the tire there. Just keep them aired up. That helps the tire from rotting and from getting flats. Because a lot of people get flats because they don't have enough air in their tires. They'll hit a curb or a rock or something, and it'll just pinch on the rim, and then they'll get a flat.
Damn.
And then keep the bike clean. It's just wipe it down when you're done riding. Just hit a little bit of 409 on a paper towel and just wipe it down. That does big things for it. Helps prevent it from rusting, corroding. And then when you bring it to me for tune-up, it doesn't smell so bad. Because some of you really get after it, and then you bring me your bikes, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Like hop off, like, oh, excuse me, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Can you fix my seat? Like,
Oh, you'll
bruh.
see nuts and bolts just like white
Ugh.
from like salt. People sweat.
God.
And it's, yeah.
People are eating breakfast, John.
Hey, clean your bikes.
What's it? So let's talk a little bit about Aurora. What to you is Aurora's strength?
I would say it's community.
Okay.
I think Aurora, people from Aurora are from Aurora. They'll tell you they're from Aurora. They won't tell you they're from Chicago. They'll tell you they're from Aurora.
Right.
And if other people in the country don't know where that is, they don't care.
Right.
So, yeah, Aurorans are very proud to be from Aurora. It's a funny thing. Like people from Montgomery don't do that. People from Oswego don't do that.
Right.
I don't even think people from Elgin do that, and Elgin's a big city too. So
Yeah, there's not that pride in a lot of other places, you know.
Right.
Yeah, there really is not.
And Aurora's really been turning itself around in the last 5 years for sure. 10 years in the long run, but 5 years it's really just started running with it. So
What's the biggest change you've seen in that 5?
just the downtown coming back alive.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marissa Amoni she's been putting
Shout
the
out to
work in
Marissa.
for a long time.
Yeah.
I knew Marissa when we were little kids because her brother and my brother were friends, but in the last 10 years, I saw her trying to get things going through the Beacon News and stuff like that. And then in the last 5 years, when she became,
The manager of Aurora downtown.
Right.
yeah, she's just really like kicked it up, getting artists to come down here, bands. First Fridays is a huge thing.
Big.
It's a huge
Yeah.
thing. Like just seeing everybody walking around downtown Aurora. When I was in high school, we used to skate and ride BMX around downtown Aurora. There was nobody down here. There was just like vagrants down here and sketchy stuff in the 90s. So it's so different and it's so much better. And it makes me so happy
Yeah.
to see how clean and everybody out just walking around during the daytime. It's awesome.
Right. Flowers and walking dogs.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
The
yeah.
flowers, the landscaping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that a lot too. I'm like, what's First Friday? I'm like, what's First Friday? I'm like, don't you know?
Right, yeah.
Now they know, my friends in other communities, and now they're like, oh, what's going on First Friday?
Right,
So-
yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah,
It brings a
people-
lot of people, you know.
People just show up to the shop for whatever, and they're like, "What's going on?" We're like, "Well, one, it's 7:30. I'm still open, so there's this app," and then I
Here,
explain what's going on first. Like, this is really cool. And then they'll come back a few minutes later with all this food because they went over to the Grumpy Gaucho and got some empanadas. And
Right.
this is awesome down here.
Like, thanks. Watch out for the bikes, bro.
Yeah.
What's it been like operating, managing a business downtown Aurora with some of your neighbors here?
Downer Place as a whole is just a community in itself. Like with Shannon and Chad at Wigwood House and Chad at the Treadwell Coffee, we've all been really supportive of each other and try to cross promote one another. So yeah, it's really good. We'll all talk.
We determined that Francis is the mayor of Downer. Just don't
He
tell,
is.
Don't tell Richard that, but
Right.
but a little bit of history is that it's kind of like in Chicago when they made that one block. Harry Carey was the mayor of Chicago.
Oh yeah.
He had said, or the mayor at the time, Jane Byrne, had said, "I'll give you one block, the rest of the city's mine." I think Francis has got Downer,
Francis. Yeah, I love
and then
Francis.
some.
So would you like to hear the history of France?
Let's talk about
Please.
Francis.
Okay.
Yes.
Where's he from?
So Francis is from Jamestown, New York, which is about an 8-hour drive. It's like an hour and a half south of Buffalo, if you don't know New York geography very well. He's from a very sketchy part of town called Barrett Avenue.
I've heard that in rap songs.
Not to disparage anybody from Jamestown, New York,
Yeah.
but if you're from Jamestown, you know Barrett Avenue, you know what I'm talking about. My girlfriend, Susan, who runs Offbeat Thrift and Vintage right next door, shout out to Susan.
Shout out.
Susan.
She went home to visit family in Jamestown, and they went to a John Mulaney comedy show, and they came out, and Francis was there. And he followed them all the way home up Barrett Avenue to Grandma's house. And then he was there the next morning when they got up, and he followed them around on vacation, just was walking around with them, getting ice cream. And then it was time to go, and they just threw him in the car, and he just sat in the armrest and came all the way back here.
Yeah, that must
Look,
be.
he knows. He's like,
He knows. He's rolling over. He's not on camera right now, but he's rolling over, getting some tummy rubs.
Yeah.
That's a very sketchy thing to do. You're a cat. You live in the hood. You're just following people home. That's
Kind of classy, kind of good.
right.
Francis, what impact has your mom had on your life?
He's definitely a trash cat. If you're sitting around eating French fries, he will steal them from you.
Oh.
He has done it straight out of my hand, going into my mouth. Just grabbed it and took off. So he's used to eating trash.
The time is now 8:36 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we are with John of All Spoked Up. So, as we sit here at the moment, Aurora currently, the River Edge Park is closed, the Paramount is closed, but there is life definitely coming up. We're coming back some places. Those large gatherings are not. There's a whole lot of life going on down here on Downers Place. What kind of events and things like that do you guys have and hold? I know some stuff may be on hold because of COVID, but the First Friday events you guys have had here, what do you got coming up?
Coming up for this coming First Friday, we're going to do a grand reopening here.
Awesome.
So, what's the date of that one? September 4th?
I don't know.
Oh,
Shout out to Marissa.
Yes.
Shout out to Google Calendar.
I know Marissa's good.
Screaming at me right now. It's September 4th. I know it's September 4th.
Like the 7th?
We'll be doing kind of a grand reopening. We'll have the shelves restocked. We'll be finished decorating, balloons, refreshments, that kind of thing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
In the past, though, we've had All Out Records. They're kind of a mom and pop record resale thing. They do very good here. So if you're looking for some vinyl, they got you.
Okay.
We were holding group rides on Sundays, like road rides, where we do a mixture of pavement and gravel roads. If you don't know, west of Aurora, there's a lot of unpaved roads, but they're very fun to ride, and there's like zero traffic on them. So it's super cool.
Oh,
and we
wow.
had an excellent turnout. The first one, we had 30 people show up, and the next one, we had like 40 people show up. And then, like, people were telling me, don't cancel. I was like, nah, I kind of got to. It's kind of it's socially irresponsible to have any kind of, like, group rides right now.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I have friends in the cycling community that as soon as they see other friends, like, doing group rides, they just, like, jump on you. I'm just like, oh, I don't need that.
Right.
I don't need that stress. So that's put off right now. So hopefully we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we should join one of those group rides.
There is a Saturday group ride, too. We used to have a very casual Saturday group ride. They would meet up here at, like, 8:45, 9 o'clock, and they would just ride up to North Aurora, go to Harners, or they'd ride down downtown Oswego,
Nice.
get some snacks, and then come back.
I like how you ignored me when I said we should take a ride.
He's gonna have to tune up my 2000 truck. It's like my vintage bike.
We could do that.
Nice. So here's a question. What is a misconception or a popular misconception about cycling, or the cycling industry? Do you ever get some baddie, just wacko type of people get it wrong sometimes?
Like Schwinn, people still think Schwinn are made in Chicago for some reason,
Right.
and they haven't been in like 30 years.
Mhm.
And they also think all bikes are made in the United States, and that hasn't been true longer than that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, other wacky things. People will come in looking for a bike, and they're expecting the bike to be like $150, and that's not the case for a bike shop bike.
Right.
What's the average price of a bike shop bike? Or what's a price range that people can kind of shoot for?
They usually start just under $500
Okay.
and kind of go up from there. Like the average price range is probably like $500-$600 for like a pretty good hybrid bike
Okay.
or decent mountain bike to get you going on.
if
And with
someone-
that, you get us like building it correctly. Number one, like I was saying with the
Assembly.
Target bikes, they're built wrong. Like those bikes do come back to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, your handlebars are on backwards, your wheel's not on right. So you're gonna end up charging you another $100 for me to fix your bike.
People can't tell that the handlebars.
No,
are
they have no
backwards?
idea.
Really?
The brake levers will be
I thought he was
pointing
joking.
straight up to the sky, and they'll be riding around like that. I was like, man, how are your wrists feeling trying to stop your bike like that? That's
What? That's crazy. Huh? Yeah, I don't know.
and there's stickers on it too that says front and front. So the guy assembling it should know.
Yeah, it's like you said about the tires. Like it says on there, the PSI. Like
Yeah.
just read it. Yeah.
I don't know. People's observation skills are diminishing, I think. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So I like this shop. Who came up with the red and black?
That is Matt. Was Matt's Matt the owner. That was his thing, was the red and black logo.
Even the kiosk here for charging, red, black.
Oh, well that's just happenstance.
That was. Oh wow. I was like, damn, they're really doing it up
Yeah,
here.
no.
Yeah.
That's just our credit card company. They just happen to do that. But that was Christina's idea to do the red all the way up to that line there and then do gray for the ceiling. And I think it turned out really good. Everything really pops off the wall.
Great idea,
And
Christina.
gives it a
Yeah.
great vibe in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christina. Let's talk food.
Okay.
Let's talk food. You were a West Sider.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're an East Sider. Where's the best place to get tacos in Aurora?
I really like El Tio right now.
Oh, the
right
uncle.
around the corner.
Yep.
They're really good. Yeah, I'm going to go with El Tio.
Okay.
I'm going to get jumped on social media.
Thanks, man.
What else do you? Where else do you frequent in Aurora? What else should people check out?
I've been real into the Kari's lately, the new pizza place that took over Spizzico.
Oh yeah, that's Lake Street and New York.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's good. And they have a really big menu too. So if anybody's looking for vegetarian options or even healthy options, they have a lot of quinoa salads and stuff that are really
didn't know that.
they're super good.
Yeah.
Go to Gillerson's, of course. Shout out to Dan.
Shout out to Gillerson.
Dan, let's
Hey,
hurry up
Dan.
and get Bebe's going, huh, man?
Yeah, right there on the corner, the deli.
Deli
Yeah.
that's supposed to come in.
Yeah, that's been a long time coming too.
Yeah, they've had
Issues.
city issues.
Yeah.
I won't dwell on that because I don't know anything about it. So.
Right. Yeah. We know their city issues. We don't know the kind.
Yeah, Gillerson's for sure. Dough Balls is good pizza too.
Shout out to Dough Balls.
Dough Balls is on New York Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's attached to Ballydoyle's actually. I think it's owned by the same people. I think they share a kitchen.
Yeah, Valley Doyle's owns Dough Balls. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Very good. So now, I want to do a name association.
Okay,
Say a name. Tell me the first thing that pops into your mind.
sure.
All right. Cycle.
Me.
Rider.
Me.
Come on, man. This ain't
I'm
gonna work.
sorry, man.
Welcome to the Jon Show.
It's like 8:43. It's supposed to be my day off. I'm tired.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Song on replay. What are you crushing right now? Or group?
The Misfits.
Ooh, the Misfits.
That's right.
My man, we got some style. Digging it. Well, so another question I have is that Aurora has gone through, let me start over. With all the change that Aurora's gone through in the last 5 years, okay? What do you feel as a business owner down here, part of the community? What do you feel Aurora should have as its priorities in the next 5 going forward?
I would
Separate from the COVID issue and everything.
Sure. I would like to see more businesses coming back to downtown. I really think that's been really positive for the
Yes.
community. I would like to see I know everyone loves the little mom and pop stores, but even like a couple, if you just sprinkle in a couple bigger chain things down here, that creates anchors.
Yeah.
I've seen that in Geneva. Geneva's got like a couple bigger anchor
Yeah.
things, and if you ever been to downtown Geneva, they've figured it out with like the small businesses and just walking around the streets and
Yes,
stuff
they
like
have.
that. And I really think Aurora could kind of copy that model and do
Yeah.
it their way, do it the Aurora way. But
Mhm.
I think that's been a big boom. I like the two-way streets. It took a little while, but there was a lot of weird one-way streets through downtown Aurora.
Yeah, there were. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I just drove down Galena the wrong way for the first time.
Was
Like
it you?
this week. Well, no, because now it goes two ways, and it was bizarre going the opposite direction, heading east,
Yeah.
heading west on it. I was like, where am I going? Am I going to get in an accident? But no, I think that's really helped, like, just the traffic flow of down here, because I remember as a child, it'd get all backed up and be weird. It's weird. And then having to, like, learn to drive down here, not knowing that there's a one-way street. So anyone that had driver's ed down here in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about.
Always a good time. Now, are you guys also the Fox? There's another riding club before COVID. It's another riding team, if I'm not mistaken. I was around here. Was anybody affiliated with that Fox Valley Ride or something like that?
I think I know what you're talking about. I think they were doing some rides out of here before I started working here.
Okay.
A couple of years ago. I'm
Okay.
not super familiar with that.
Because
It
on
was
the
like
outs,
Fox River Cycling Club
Yes,
or something
that's
like
what-
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about that.
What's the most expensive part of a bike?
Well, most expensive that could be is like the wheels.
Mhm.
You could probably spend like a lot of money on a nice set of wheels.
Right.
That is the part that you're rolling on.
Right.
Overall, though, probably like the derailleurs, the things that change your gears, those can be pretty expensive, especially if you break one. And then the installation fee, because you got to set it back up and stuff like that too. So,
Can you tell us about this bike here?
I grabbed that bike. Let me just scrooge this out of the way. I grabbed that bike just because it was a super pretty color, and I thought it would pop on camera.
Yes.
The background. That is a Kona Hey Hey 2021 Kona Hey Hey.
Kona Hey Hey.
That's right. That is made for.
That boy sounds expensive.
That one is expensive. That is made for mountain biking, riding off woods and the trees, doing some mountain bike racing.
Mhm.
It's full suspension bike, so you have a shock in the front and a shock in the back there. You have hydraulic disc brakes, which are very similar to what's on your car or motorcycle. Same kind of technology there. So your brakes, and they always work. They work when it's wet. They work when it's muddy. Your brakes just always work.
How much does a bike like that cost?
Ooh, I want to say that one's.
Damn, when the man selling you the bike says, ooh, you might not be able to afford it, playa.
Coming up, please. Look at that. Thank you, John.
That bicycle is $4,500. It is a carbon fiber frame. And let me show you a cool magic trick.
Yes, please do. All right.
See me?
Damn. Oh! Feeling that.
So the reason you want that seat to be able to drop down like that, so what I would do is there's a lever on the handlebar, press it, and then I put my butt on it. My weight pushes it down. That gives you room to get over obstacles. So your seat's not like up your butt, basically.
Right.
So you can get behind the bike and maneuver it down super steep obstacles or rocks or bunny hop over something. And then you just hit the lever again, it just pops back up so you can have maximum efficiency with the correct saddle height. And, you know, Francis
likes
digs
it.
Now, have you ever done any were you a BMX bike guy?
Oh, yeah, I was a BMX kid. That's where I started.
Okay. Were you one of the kids doing the competition tricks and all that?
I never
stuff?
did competitions.
Okay,
Or anything, but
all right.
Yeah.
Sorry if this is a weird question.
No, no,
I'm a novice in the cycling industry,
Sure.
so yeah.
I
But
never did competitions, but yeah, I was doing tricks and stuff. I actually have pictures of me grinding the ledges up the block at the Fifth Third in their parking lot
Holy cow.
from like 96 or something like that.
Shit, that's
We'll
awesome.
see if I can dig that up.
Yes, we like to post that. That's some good. That's some good Aurora history. You took me next door and showed me some Aurora history too. You mentioned that this building at one point in time was a school.
Yes, this was I believe it was a Augusta Business University.
Okay.
There's a that's another good thing Aurora's been doing is they've really latched onto the history of Aurora. So a lot of these buildings will have placards on the outside describing what this
What it
building
was
used
back
to be.
Right.
And they've been repainting a lot of the old signage. Like a lot of the buildings had ads painted on them, so they went back through and you'll see that over at Charlie's. They
Yes,
redid that
yeah,
on
when
the
they
side of
redid
there.
all that.
Where Craft Urban's going to be, they kind of touched up where the Assel Photography Studio was.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Right,
Yep.
that little ghost
Mhm.
image.
The time is now 8:50 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we are sitting with John of All Spoked Up, and Francis is over there just getting love from Becca, and you know that's just how it's going. Look at him laying on the cord. It's all good, Francis. Doing your thing. Doing your
Francis.
thing. Who are or who have been some of your cycling heroes or people that you looked up to?
I'll go back to BMX. Matt Hoffman. He was kind of like the Tony Hawk of BMX. He kind of did everything first. I actually met him once, and that was super cool. He was definitely beat up though from having to learn all those tricks and stuff.
Really?
He sat down. Met him at a trade show, and he sat down to eat his lunch. And I was like, "Hey, Matt, can I have an autograph?" It took him a good minute to get up, and he probably was only 35 at that time.
Wow.
But he's lots of bolts and screws all over him from breaking boat. Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I think you need that one picture we were just talking about up on the photo wall here.
Oh yeah. Maybe I should.
We
Maybe
need
I
you
should.
to
grinding?
figure that one out,
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those who don't know what grinding is, what's grinding?
So you'll see bikes with pegs on them. So you just kind of like jump on a railing or a ledge on that peg, and you would slide, basically.
See, that's a cultural thing. Because if you from where I'm from, you're like, what the hell? I thought it was for having your friends taking them to... No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's grinding, not riding your boy home. Very cool. Now, look, we have... The time is now 8:52. Our show ends on a positive note, okay? But what we like to do is let you shout out the social, how people can get in touch, and also the hours and everything due to COVID that you guys got.
Sure. Right now, as far as COVID goes, we're just open. You're welcome to come bring your bike in and bring in any repairs. We've been slowing down with repairs. That's typical of August.
Right.
Good to know.
Stuff usually tends to slow down when back to school happens. It's school, parentheses.
Right.
Shout out to everybody stuck on Zoom right now.
If it's working.
Hopefully that's working.
Right.
But we're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 6. Closed entirely on Wednesdays. Saturday, 11 to 5, and Sunday, 11 to 3. You can follow us on All Spoked Up Aurora on Facebook. Not the other one. That's the old Batavia one, and I don't have access to that one. So All Spoked Up Aurora. That one's a little bit different. Or our Instagram is All Spoked Up Aurora as well, and there's underscores underneath it. If you just search All Spoked Up Aurora on Instagram, you'll find us.
Yeah.
Now, quick question. So people that are wanting bikes, but they're obviously back ordered, can they do right now? Anything? Or just they gotta wait?
They gotta wait.
Can't like pre-order like a car?
Or get your money up.
So we were trying to do that. We were trying to do payment up front and then just have it on back order for when it comes in. And then the sales reps called us. They're like, don't do that.
Don't
We
make
can't
any
promise.
promise.
We can't promise you anything because things are slowly getting dispersed from overseas to them, and then they try to divvy it up evenly to all the other bike shops because there was a little bit of hoarding going on, not just with toilet paper, but there were certain shops that were hoarding bikes too, that would order a ton of bikes or a ton of tubes where other bike shops all of a sudden couldn't get them all. So there was a couple times this spring where I actually bought tubes and pumps from another bicycle store shop. They sold it to me at a slightly discounted price.
Wow. And that sparked my my brain before we go. And besides, so you said a lot of bikes are not made in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best bike or a top of the line bike that's not an American-made bike?
I would say Cannondale. They still make great bikes,
Okay.
as well as the Konas that we carry.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go that way.
Okay.
That's my answer. The brands we carry.
Final answer.
Yo, that was awesome.
And the merchandise.
Yes, we do have swag. Can you hand me some T-shirts?
The all smoked up one on the bottom there. This is truly live. You know,
Oh, this is
live.
right.
It
We
happened.
are live.
When y'all see.
So we have our all smoked up shirt here that I designed this one, and we get them all printed up at the Yeti. So shout out to the Yeti Printing.
Shout out to the Yeti.
Hey Mike, I need an arcade cabinet here in the new store.
Hint, hint.
Open face sandwich was up.
And we have our Francis shirt, Francis the Shop Cat, which I made this one too. And Kim and the Yeti, they print it. We get these printed locally. So
And my co-host Christine,
Yep, I do have mine.
rocking her Francis
Rocking
shirt.
my Francis
rocking
shirt.
Francis, rocking Francis.
How was Francis during COVID?
He's fine. I think he was a little bummed out at first because he really likes kids coming to visit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is an odd thing for a cat. Cats usually don't like children, but Francis will run straight up to find them and headbutt them and then fall down.
He gave me like a whole window dance one day.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I get a lot of people coming in telling me they were playing with Francis before we opened in the window.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was chilling with a long time seeing the cat, but the day that we bonded, like behind the glass, Josh is out here painting, chilling out there with Tyler and everything. We're chilling, and here comes Francis just peeping us and everything, and kind of gives us the. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh damn,
Yeah.
soul cat.
Francis
I like
knows
it.
what's up. He's got that little soul patch right
Yep,
there on
yep.
his chin.
All right, so the show likes to end. We end the show on a positive note. What's something that you would like to tell the youth of Aurora, citizens of Aurora? You know, what's something that they can take with them for the day and going into the week?
I would say, especially now during COVID time, just take a minute to just look around you and just see what's out there in the world. And not everything's as terrible as it seems. Just try to find the positive things that are going on in your life. Focus on what you have and not what you don't have. And that's probably the best thing that I could offer.
Like that.
Keep talking, because I'm writing that.
All right.
You can't see this like when we're off the screen because he just keeps going.
And I would, you know what? If you're running out of things to do, just kind of explore your neighborhood. Like, there's a lot of stuff in Aurora that you probably haven't found yet. So just hop on your bike and go ride to the east side. Go ride to the west side.
Explore.
Go explore. Explore your home.
Yep.
Go check out Phillips Park. Phillips Park's amazing lately. They've done great work revamping that in the last few years as well. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the zoo's closed over there, but it's really pretty with all the trees and the sunken garden.
Yeah, and the flowers.
And the flowers.
My goodness, yeah.
And then the west side of Aurora's got a lot of good parks. Lincoln Park's still real pretty over there behind Holy Angels. So
Very cool. All right. What's a message you'd like to give to the people?
I think kind of like what he said. I think that's something that we've been hearing as we're talking to people, just like taking care of yourself. You know, just kind of stepping back and just doing what you need to do to be okay. You know, because we're all struggling through this. So
Oh, yeah.
do what you can.
yeah, everyone's trying to do their best. Everyone's got their own stuff they're trying to work through. Don't get mad at other people. Like, you don't know what that other person's day has been like. You don't know what their family life's going through.
Don't get mad at the shop owners, the restaurant
Yeah, don't get
workers.
mad at me because I asked you to put your mask on. Jeez.
Right, yeah.
What other store are you going into without your mask? Why do you
Right.
think the bike shop's the cool place to do
Exactly.
that?
And do your research. Don't come in here with $60 thinking that you're gonna get the Kona hey.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not gonna happen.
I mean, I'm not going to get the Kona. Work here. Jeez.
Well, I would like to say that I really appreciate this store and this strip. I've had my eye. That's why my questions were kind of focused specifically on Aurora and what you thought about it and what you think about it, because Downer Place here has been thriving and bubbling. It's been doing its thing. I remember when we had to board things up and paint, there was still a good spirit on this street. And I also like to say that I like the creativity that goes on in here and how this place has been drawing people in for a long time. So even despite the hubbub and having to shut down and all that kind of stuff, like, I mean, you've been cool. You're a cool brother. Everybody on the strip is cool, and I like that there's a lot of positivity going on here, and you guys are really like one of the generators of it.
Right.
On this,
yeah, we try to be cool to everybody. Like, you can come in with your Walmart bike and all, and it's fine. That's your bike that you can afford. That's fine. You're getting out there. You're riding bikes.
Right.
You're outside doing something. That's fine. I'll help you fix it. That's okay. You don't need $1 million bicycle to go out and have a good time.
Right.
So we don't look down on you for any bike you have. Not bike snobs. I know there are some bike shops that are bike snobs, and that's a misconception in the bicycle industry, that a lot of guys are snobs. And
Okay.
We're not one of those. You all start somewhere riding some kind of bike. I mean, I had a janky BMX bike growing up.
Right.
That definitely had vice grips holding that back wheel on all of the time. So I know where you're coming from. I always
Right.
try to take care of the BMX kids when they come in here, because I feel for them. So
Yeah.
Here to promote the sport in the community.
yeah, especially if you're a kid, you need your handlebars tightened. I'm not going to charge you to tighten your handlebars. It takes me like 2 seconds to turn my wrist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much appreciated.
Yeah.
Like getting out of the house, like, and getting away from like my parents sometimes when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
Was-
it's freedom. It really is. Until you get your driver's license, the bike's the
more
only
than
way
money.
to get out and get away from everybody. Be by yourself for a little bit,
Clear your
or just
head.
hang out with your friend. Yeah, definitely clear your head. I definitely solved some problems in my brain while on a bike ride. So
Yeah.
That's great.
it's a good way. It's good therapy without having to talk to anybody or paying a therapist $100 an hour.
Right. Well, on behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we'd like to say thank you to Jon and All Spoked Up for letting us come in and do this interview.
Yeah, thank
This
you.
was really, really, really good.
So thank
good
you
to
for
talk to you.
choosing us in our new space. We're really excited for it.
Oh.
I need hand sanitizer.
It's so not okay.
We got that. We got the hand sanitizer right here.
And thank you to our team who did make this all happen.
Yep.
Hunter, JV, yes, this would not have. We'd have been sitting here with a camera phone.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to our team. Yep. Thank you to our team and shout out. And thank you to all of our listeners and subscribers for staying up with us. Our show has taken a lot of steps, and we've gained a lot of ground, I should say. And this is our very first live in location interview. Thank you to JV. Thank you to Hunter. Thank you to Becca, and thank you,
Aurora
Francis, too,
and Francis.
the mayor of Aurora.
Downer.
Shout out Richard
Mayor
Irvin.
of Downer. Mayor
Mayor of Downer. Damn.
Jeez, don't push it.
Right. Shout out Mayor Irvin.
I don't know.
All right.
Francis could be state representative.
I think we
Yeah,
should.
ooh. He's passing laws without even talking. Oh, shit, man. Damn, he's got it. All right. And we are out. See you guys tomorrow morning on the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.